Okay, so the chapter 14th from the book of Kadam. So it's called Meditating on Perfect Equanimity of Excitations and Mental Laxity through serving the root of suffering. Let's say before I explain the root text, try to explain the name or the terms of this title. I mean, like the meaning of this title. So it's a meditating on perfect equanimity, um, which is the equanimity here is just not equally of exciting and mental laxity. It's equanimity here talking about emptiness again. So meditating on emptiness, uh, which is like a try to see equal both excitations and mental anxiety. But it said through severing the root of suffering. Um, so far, what we learn is we um, we cut the root of suffering through by understanding emptiness, right? So now here saying meditating in perfect equanimity, the excitation, mental anxiety through serving the root of suffering. Um, it looks like it's a little bit go like a different way. So therefore, it could be the different meaning, right? So as mentioned here, perfect equanimity is refers to the emptiness. And here, the root of suffering, actually, it's negative actions. Here says negative actions. Usually, so far, what we learn is root of suffering is ignorance, right? The ignorance, self-grasping. That's what we learn. So refers here, the root of suffering is negative action, what we can call karma or negative actions, which will be more clear after later that. And then excitation and mental laxity. There's also, if you are familiar with this word, it could be makes you more confused because when we practice or uh, cultivate shamatha, that's two obstacles we often talk. So those excitation and laxity, right? Um, but though that excitation and laxity and here excitation and laxity is what's the laxity? Laxity is should be a little bit different again. So the same terms but the meaning different. The here excitation is refers with the pride and conceptual thought. The both are refers here the excitations because we'll explain later. And then mental laxity, it's here refers with more discouragement. Let's say I cannot do anything, right? Your mind is so discouraged that's something that you think that you cannot do it. So this is the laxity, mental laxity here. So, and then if we put it together, what we're saying is before you, like say, before you meditate on emptiness or before you realize emptiness, you must purify all these negative actions. Um, so without I say negative actions, in order to reducing excitations and mental exiting. This is how we put together, right? And that means first we have to purify negative actions. Then it will help us to is give us more ability to understand emptiness and also to realize the emptiness. So what the order of this? What is connection between these two? Like understanding the ultimate reality, emptiness, what we talked. For that, why we need to purify negative actions, right? So, and then there are two ways to explain, the Buddhist practitioner way to explain, and then general can explain here. So general saying as well as your like negative actions or the bad habits, if you keep continuous keeping the bad habits with refers with the body and mind actions or verbal actions, so it will be cause you distracted always. Once you have a strong distracted, then you will not have a good concentration and focusing mind, and then so very difficult to meditate on emptiness. This is the connection, right? So, and not only emptiness, whatever you have to uh, cultivate or achieve the inner realizations, we always must try to the purify negative actions. So purify negative actions, you can take the another way say is keep the moral ethics well. This is the same. The doing like engaging moral ethics well and then purifying negative actions here is same, right? So therefore, moral ethics means you try to more control or reduce your own the physical uh, like bad habits, right? Such as like the refers to the body, which is stealing, or so on and so on, and then refers to the verbal, lying, using like idle gossip, and so on and so on. Those are uh, the bad manners, or so far we call it, and then we build it up very much with us, become a very strong habit within us. So then, the keeping moral ethics or engaging moral ethics means you try not do these things with your intentions and attentions, right? So that's the part of purifications. Purifying means here negative deeds. To purify more that your bad habit. So then once you do that, same time actually those negative actions, which is leaded by negative actions, those mental reflection could be the reduce. Because as well as you not try lie or you not try to like the idle gossip or like a stealing and so on and so on. So same time, you are reducing those intention, which is lead to do these things, right? So it means it also help us to reduce our the negative emotions as well with negative emotion that much will have less distractions make sense okay having less distractions will have less distractions then your concentration will be much better and then that's the way we understand the profound path or ultimate reality or like emptiness. So then also it's also brings you more concentration to have those compassion and kindness things, right? This is the how it gives order here. And basically this chapter talking uh, more additionally talks here how we need to practice further developing, right? So at the very beginning, the chapter also mentioned a lot of things that what is the obstacle and how we can overcome by those obstacle and how to do it. But this is here more additional to talk continuous what is the obstacle and how we can overcome by it. So, and then it is clear that try to explain the meaning of this title. It is clear, right? Yes, go ahead.
Geshe, thought, action, and action.
Uh-huh.
Actions.
Uh-huh.
Actions.
You mean thought is actions or not? Because you're asking, right? Okay. So yes, definitely. Thought is the mind actions, right? And then once I mention about moral ethics, it's more refers with physical actions, right? And then, well, we try to keep moral ethics to try to do not do bad things by physical actions. Same time, help us to reduce that like a mental thought that actions, which is leading those negative actions, right? So we are not intently try to reduce that negative emotion, which is the cause of suffering. But while we try to keep the moral ethics, it's automatically connected to reduce it because, um, simple example, let's say, the not lies, and then once you not lie, actually, what emotions, what intention, and what thoughts lead us to lie, or drive us to be lie, right? So it could be attachment. You expectation something, you expected something, then you didn't get it, therefore you might lie. Or anger. So one of those negative emotions lead us that the motivation or intention to lie. So then once you try not lie, that intention and motivation is not functioning, right? While it's not functioning, it is automatically reducing. It's because if you not use lot, then it's kind of sleeping, right? So it's getting more less power. If you use more and more, that much is becoming more stronger. This is this is how it's connected. I mentioned it, right? Yeah. Okay. So and then root text here says, since you take no pleasure in negative deeds, when thoughts of self importance arises, at that instant, deflect your pride and recall your teacher's instructions. And then next is when discouraged through thoughts, right, arises, uplift your mind and meditate on the emptiness of both. So there are two kind of meaning here. Um, So as well as they have a two different whether you call section or collections, right? So the first one is saying when your prize arises, we must recall the previous instructions, whether it comes from book or teacher. So that's the one meaning here. And another meaning is once you're having discouragement, then lift it up. Lift it up means like there you have to think like the value of human life and capacity, your own capacity, and then potentials to realize those and then lift it up your mind. There's two kind of chapter talks here, right? Here using collection, the collection of reducing pride through by recall your instructions, and then collection of uplift your mind when you have discouragement. These two things, main things, right? Okay. So now I'm going to through by the commentary, which is dialogue between Atisha and his disciple Dromdemba, right? And then, as usual, I not bring all this line by line. It's just which is I think it's which is important parts. I just quote it here. Okay. So Now, first talking here, what is the root of suffering? Atisha replied, Drum, it is negative karma or negative actions, right? So, and then, Master, what is the root of negative karma or negative action? Then, Drum, it is aggregate, the I or the self, which means like a self-ego, right? So self-ego is the root of root, means like the fundamental root. And then negative karma is root. It called here negative karma or negative actions are root because it's direct caused it. Let's say is something happening with our daily life or suffering. It directly causes from your negative action, right? And then indirectly or rooted or fundamental self-ego. So therefore, is which is the direct cause? Another way to say substantial cause, right? Or direct cause. That it mentioned here, root. Root means which is direct cause, okay? Good morning. Um, so then it says that root is self. I means self-ego. It is a fundamental root, and that lead everything, right? And then continues here, Master. Now, how does the I or the self act as the root of negative karma or negative actions? It means like what is connection between self-ego and negative actions, right? So because the negative the self-ego is the root of negative actions, and negative action is the root of suffering. That's how I said it, right? So it's talking about between connection or relation between self-ego and negative action. So then the here master is Atisha, right? The Atisha said it is um, Drum, it is by needing everything. Master, how does it need everything? It wants oneself to be superior and other is inferior. Atisha replied. So as you clear these two lines to talks about the relation between self-ego and negative action, right? It is the answer is by needing everything. So that self-ego is what is needing everything. And then also the previous many lines talks about that um, how self-egos worked and the functioning, right? So here giving one example saying it wants when self-egos talks, I want become a superior, then I want others are become inferiors. So that means self-ego talks here, I want to become a best than others. Others shouldn't, right? So, and this is how can see us connection that leading negative action, right? So, as you say, I want to become a superior, and I am superior. I am the best, and based on that, your action will be the see could be that you are more disrespecting to others, right? Because thinking I'm the best. So then why should respect to others, right? So it will lead you the disrespecting others, or like it you as how the self egos or pride functioning exactly same that you might be neglecting all other things people, and then you will be more um, div divided between between the people, right? So this is my type. Yes, we are similar class, and that one's my not my type. So then you are more looking down or disrespect, and so other things comes, right? So this is the how self-egos lead the negative actions. Or another way, the self-ego also can be lead negative action through by negative emotion. Again, if you are remember, it's fine. If some of you not remember, then I will repeat it again. So self-ego will, as like protecting yourself, that lead us anger, right? Self that self-egos produce the anger or like it arises anger. Or self-ego can be arises the attachment, right? Say, so they have it, same thing, I need it. So, and why I don't have it? I want this. I like this. All those things comes that I is important, therefore it's need best things. So therefore, it's also can be arises the attachment. Same way self-ego arises ignorance as well. So, and then after intention or motivation, which whatever comes uh, associating with the one of those negative emotion, that led you the actions always negative, right? So the angers comes, and then intention might be scolding others, or you want to be beating to others, you want to be defeat to others. All those intentions comes, right? Then while you have those intentions, then action, the body and verbal action will follow with it, that intention. So this is the how connection, right? Self-ego arises mental reflections. Mental reflection arises the bad intentions. The bad intention lead you have the bad actions. So this is the connection between the self-ego and negative actions. Usually it has a kind of a long process, but we didn't see those long process. We see just everything happening instantly, right? I get angry and then fight, or I get angry and say it. You didn't see this link between or the way beginning comes from, right? So if you remember the one of our class, it's everything began from contact, right? So contact you seize, then you have you seize as a pleasure, then attachment arises, right? Attachment arises, then is grasping there, right? Craving and grasping, then actions. On the other hand, like I say, you contact, you see the ugly or unpleasure, then aversion arises. That leads you have anger and hatred. That lead to actions. So those connections, right? So, but didn't see that process because it's very fast. You see, same time emotions come, same you we feel that same time I take actions, right? It's very happening everything very fast. Therefore, we not see this the process. If we meditate and more go with the slow motions, then you see this all details one by one. What is the cause and what is the result? The final my negative actions lead by what cause, and that lead by what cause. And then you can go up to the root fundamental cause. If you understand those processes, then makes you easy control or stop to take negative actions or having negative intentions, right? So, okay, this is the connection here, okay. Then say, Master, how should one refers to this? Drum, it should be refers to as the attachment and aversions, what's that? Radiance, okay. Master, in whom is the strongest? And it's drum. It is strongest in those whose spiritual practice is weak, but whose conceit is strong, right? That person, the weak you can hear mentioning about the spirituality practice, right? Spiritual practice. You can take also the positive actions, positive thoughts. We are very weak to have, or our positive thoughts is very weak, and then as well as actions, or almost difficult to have those positive thoughts and positive action, right? and then um, same time, at the other hand, strong negative emotion such as like a conceit or pride, we have a strong with us, and then other hand, we are very weak to have those good qualities or good thoughts or positive thought, right? So once we go together with it, then cause us a lot of problem. There's a saying here. And then further explain here, Master, in whom is the stronger? Okay, that's the Master doesn't want become a conceit because of has something, right? Can be have a pride because he have a something. And then the master explained it here. Drum, the five hills, fireflies. Okay. The fireflies, for example, feel that there are no lights other than their own. In the nighttime, the fireflies has that kind of light in his tail, with the backside, right? So they have a pride on it. Then again, Dromtumba is kind of like a more further asking questions. In their case, to Iran, they concede because they do possess the flash of light. They have a something. Therefore, why can't do that conceit or pride, right? And then Atisha explained here, the sun and moon are never conceit. So the sun and moon here talking, giving example, the meaning you can take the great practitioner or uh, the kindest person. Those are even they have a very good quality. They're not having pride, right? So and then why you should have a pride in your simple qualities, small qualities, right? It's not necessary. That's talks here. Yeah. So this is the one part talking about um, uh, once your pride arises, then remember or recall that the teacher's instructions, right? So and at that moment, once you should realize first that what happening within my mind and actions. So and then you see that your good qualities are weak, and then all these negative emotions are strong, then it's caused with danger for us. So at that moment, you should realize, oh, I'm going the wrong directions, right? So then how we can put it back, or how we can move forward to the good, right directions. Then recall all this instruction, what we the text, a lot of mention above, and then also will be talk more, right? Okay. Any question on it? Yes.
I had a question on the previous. So Phil, could you scroll down where he began? In the second line at the bottom, well, the second paragraph, when discouraged thoughts arise, uplift your mind and meditate on the emptiness of both. So are we meditating on the thoughts or meditating on thoughts and mind?
Oh, okay. That's actually will come, but I will explain it. So, um, uplift your mind, giving few option to think. So one is human leisure and opportunity, death impermanent, and then our own potentials, those talks, realizing those. This is to help us to lifting our mind. And then also, not only that, also talks about the result of the potential, result of your opportunity life. If you use it perfectly, that result is huge. When you see that result, then also will be, oh yeah, I can do that much. So that's just beautiful. That is how we lift it up. The emptiness part is the separate. Either we can make it here the two collections or three collections. So third collections, we can say both the like excitations and mind mental laxities are equally emptiness. That's the Satyajita says. Not the only emptiness is the how you lift it up the mind, because emptiness is too much academic, so it's not really help us to directly lifting our mind when we're discouraged, right? So that thinking our potential and human leisures are a lot of helps. This is the how we to go order at the end. Yes, definitely. And then when you become a well, everything goes well, then you are what called anyhow. So and then finally, that emptiness is the best antidote for reducing everything, right? Okay, is this clear? Any other question?
So
Mm-hmm.
when we were saying that on the thoughts, one thing that I've been like working on my meditations is like not to so like if a thought arises that could be like a negative something, but you're just like resting in awareness of your mind and you don't grasp onto the thought, that's not creating negative karma at that point if you don't fuse with it, right? Like if you're just I'm just monitoring anything that's coming up in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
like a shepherd watching over his flock. That's
Mm-hmm.
the thing they use to describe in meditation a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching it. And so if something negative up, like a negative thing from the past or just a random negative thought just pops in, but I don't engage with it. I just let it fizz up and go back down. That's not actually negative. That's just watching the mind, right?
Yes, yes. You shouldn't engage or you stopped to having those thought again and again, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then if you look at that book of Kadam, it continues talk that sometime the pride could be the benefit, you know. So, but we should more clear that that pride is not the afflictive pride. That pride is more confidence, talking about confidence, right? Once you have a confidence, that help you, it brings you benefits. Sometimes we distinguish between confidence and pride. So I think it should be have a different these two, right? No, the pride is what we're saying is pride is always not okay. But instead of pride, you can have confidence. That's good to have it. Yeah. It never okay, I said that. Yeah. It's something negative there. Yeah. And then again, the next I just gave few line, which just talks about those pride are benefiting, which is really not the actual afflictive pride. It's a confidence. So that I'm continuous quoted, took it from there, which is how it's the confidence help us, right? That which lead to success on the path is what called similitude of conceit. Must okay. Master, are you speaking of similitude leading to success on a path? In this case, Strom, does not similitude lead the success on the path? Master, there an example of similitude lead success of the path. Strom, all in what called instances, right? In dream of recognitions that all phenomena are dream, all the see Cass is on point. Yeah, Cass is on point. Okay. So, okay, anyhow, so here, this line, this paragraph, it's Atisha, like a main point of this paragraph is talking about everything should realize as a dream. Again, it's go back to the emptiness, right? And then as well as you realize as a dream, then you will not too much grasping and thinking everything as a more solid. And if you not think that, then you will not start with some kind of like a terms on a concept, right? Um, Sometimes, isn't that sometimes the simple concept cause us a lot of debate? It's just concept, and but still cause us a lot of debate on it, right? So the because beyond the concept, you're really looking or searching something solid things. This is the how turn into the debate. So whatever concepts use it, as well as the function it, how it's functioning exactly it is, then it's fine, right? So whether you can use this is iPad, you can use this tablet. You says, oh no, you cannot use the tablet. Tablet is like some kind of Microsoft things, right? So then, why I cannot use tablet? This is how arguments comes. This is how debate began, right? Just turn. But whether you call tablet or iPad is function, what is function? So this is one way you can keep simple that. So the if you like a nothing, everything is solid beyond that concept, then you might not too much stuck and attached with that kind of concept things, right? So that must be we are more open and relaxed. So this is the meaning here. Okay. Mhm.
Smooth. It's like the quality of being similar to something. I think that's.
So we're saying that those leads to success on the path is a similitude of conceit.
Yeah.
So quality of conceit, we always think of conceit as a bad thing.
Conceit is bad thing. Similitude means similar, right? It's like I can take as a confidence. Competence sometimes looks like a similar as a pride, how it's functioning, how it looks like, but it's not the actual pride.
Differentiate.
Yes, these things. Therefore, saying what because before that, Atisha keep answering that conceit is brings you benefit. Then final, Atisha mentioned what I mentioned. The conceit brings you benefit means that similitude of the conceit, not the real conceit. So, which is confidence. That's the thing here. Yeah. Okay. So, and next here, again, the quoted from the same book. Master, is a sense of superiority an object of abandonment or not? So, drum, if one, what call? Cling, or what? Which one? Which I skipped? Oh, no, above one is I just explained the points, right? Yeah. The essence point, what I said it, the terms and concept. Concept is not we cannot say not important, but not that solid. That's how we take it. So then next here, the master is a sense of superiority and objects abandoned or not. From if one clings, it is an object of abandonment. Master, if one does not cling, it is then not object of the abandonment. So anything, right? Um, okay. Superiority. Superiority, let's say, sometime you can say, oh yeah, I'm better than earlier, like my before my life, or like 5 years before, I'm better, right? So you can think that, but once you cling on it, then the pride comes, right? So I'm better now. So it is like a clinging or like a pride having with thinking I'm better or just simply realizing I'm better is a big difference there, right? So you can think simply, I'm getting better. That will be encourage you to continue to practice, right? So, or you can think, oh, now I achieved some level of this, which is true if you have it. So that's you can think it. But while you think that, you shouldn't have a attachment or clinging, or you shouldn't have a pride on it. Once it's that's thought, that's thing, I achieved something, or I like better than earlier. That thought, if associated with the pride, then it's going to wrong, right? So then someone say you are not better, you will get angry then. So because the pride, if you do not that thought not associated with the pride, then if someone say you are not better, you will be okay. You will not get mad. So that's how it makes you different, which is associating with the attachment and pride, or which is not associating with it. So the thought is just clear, or that thought, superior thought, I'm superior. That thought could be associated with a negative and positive, right? So if you go with the more positive, then it's encourage you and then never have angry someone said you are not superior. If it is associated with the attachment or pride, then definitely you will have angry when someone said you are not superior. And it will not discourage you further because I'm superiors, then you will be more satisfactions will becomes. So that satisfaction makes you that I don't have to do more practice. I don't have to study further, right? So that's kind of like the pride will stop you that. And then I don't have to listen to someone else because I'm the best. I'm well educated. Why I need to listen to other, right? So you will not listening to other. So that is the and then whilst you're not listening to other, then you might be missing a lot of good good advice or like good ideas because you are blocked to hear that, right? So this is the how comes. It's not encourage you, and then same time it's cause you more problem once you associate with that, right? So any thought here's talking about that thinking of superior, but any thought, while when you associate with any negative emotion, that's turned into the always the final suffering or trouble. But just having simply having those thoughts are not problem, right? This is the difference here. Okay. Super without clinging, it's a mere similitude. Similitude. Okay. And how should one deal with the sense of superiority with the clinging? Means how we deal with the pride, right? And from level what called?
Conceitedness.
Flat. Okay. Considered flat means you should apply antidote or you should recall and then how, right? Then said, what method are there for this? From recollect the path instruction of teacher who have practical experiences. And then from them asking here, what are the such teacher instructions? Then Atisha's reply, having thought you ever since then universe began, you are now asking for teacher's instructions. Then Brahma said, we have associated with each other since the beginning of the universe. Yet we all still together, aren't we? So, okay. Anyhow, that part is, and to look at one way, it's kind of like true, uh, because um, though we study a long time, like almost like 20 years, 10 years, right? We study it, continue study it. And then once you having problem in your daily life, then you're looking some kind of solution for that. And what happening in those instructions, what you learn. This is the comes this, right? This is actually time for apply to overcome by it. This is the time for remember it. So then you're waiting for someone pick up your call, or you're waiting for someone see it to finding some kind of solution, and that person is busy, will not meet like after 10 days, then you're going to more worse than after that, right? But all the instruction is in remaining in your brain is there. So but what makes us different, right? We know those instructions, but still we are looking solutions when we have a problem in our daily life. Those instructions are remaining as information. It's not really those instructions is there as a solutions, right? So it's just information. Then looks like you have the puzzle you have to fix the temple, right? That you have those all puzzles, but you never practice to put it together. But when problem comes, then you cannot put it together, right? So 100 piece of puzzles. So then, while you cannot put it together, then you're looking solutions, right? Actually, solution is there, but you're looking, it's still there. So this is that makes us different. If you apply to practice little bit or like every day, the little bit, so that makes you different. Then you will not wait someone picked up your phone to finding solutions. So you will say, oh yeah, now this is the problem. That problems arise from that cause. So what is ended with that cause? I should think that way. All this solution is there, right? So um, yeah, it's one way to good to understand all this the cause and condition which we not notice in our usually daily life, right? So as talking here, self egos, negative emotions, negative actions, your own are also the cause and um, the cause and condition, which is actual cause and condition to having suffering. Um, if you realize that, then sometime you will realize, oh, this is my fault. If you do not realize that, but directly what we see is condition is the outside, not me, someone else or something else. This is the condition that having me the problem, right? So that's how we see. If you know all the detail of the cause and condition, then you can see actually what do you call exactly cause. Then once you found the exactly cause, the well treatment, then you can easily treatment it, right? So otherwise, even the doctors, giving us time to check again and again and again until it's found the actual the cause and condition, right? So that's the same our mind and problem in our daily life. So we should find exactly the cause, then easy can deal with it, easy can treat it. So therefore, good to know some of the main cause and condition is comes from mind, comes from me, not from others. So um, okay. So okay. So then going to move to next. Or you have any question on this paragraph? Okay. So then I'm going to move to next. So now here, giving us again the two instructions, right? One is saying, when I meditate with emptiness, if distracted, then what I should do? That's one question. Second question is, if some obstacle, another obstacle arises, such as an illness or sickness, then what I should do? So that answer for these two questions to make your practice better. Okay. So it says, what is the needed to be understand the essential point of the method? The essential point. If you have an essential point for using the practice, that will be the exactly cures our illness, right? Otherwise, it could be harms. So therefore, it said, now do reveal to use the essential point, master. The defeat the enemy drum. First, you must recognize the enemy, right? So, okay. And then, so what is enemy? It is conceptualizations here. Like that conceptualizations can be two meaning. The one meaning is distractions, right? Thought, a lot of thought. Conceptualizations, like while you're meditating, and then many other thoughts comes up. And actually, the conceptualizations or conceptual thought, in the West, not that much familiar with this term, what I understand. It could be wrong, right? So conceptual thought is not that much talking here, right? So, but here in this class, we talked many times in some other class. So what is actual conceptual thoughts? Then we can make differentiate this and that, right? So what is for you the conceptual thought? Any idea?
Say a thought that you form an opinion about. So rather than it just being like a neutral thought that comes in our mind and back out, we think whether we like it or not, or we transform it one level more. We make it into a concrete thing.
Reify it.
Yeah, reify it, exactly.
Yeah, those are the conceptual thoughts. Yeah,
Yeah, to give substantiality to something that was fleeting before.
this for me, you giving me example of conceptual thought. Is you're not really defining the conceptual thought, right? So you're giving example. That's our yes. It is those are the conceptual thought. So
Trying to like, kind of, I say, like, put it in a box, you're trying to and give it characteristics and, you know, point it out and say, this is actually what it is, you know, and trying to explain it to yourself and
Uh-huh.
that, isn't that what conceptualizing versus you let the appearance of it, whatever, just be what it is, like it doesn't have a label or a description, you don't
Uh-huh.
need to add anything to it, it just is what it is.
So it's more okay.
Like
So
name and form,
uh-huh.
name and form.
Name and form all are not the conceptual thoughts. There are forms there, right? So okay, so yeah, I think yes. So let me again ask someone on in the online if they remember. This is part of recollecting you. Part of recollections. Anyone in online remember what is conceptual thoughts? Okay. Uh-huh.
Anything that is not rooted in emptiness.
Not not what? Uh,
Anything that does not arise from emptiness. Any thought that does not arise from emptiness.
okay. Further clarification that I can say there are nothing there which is not arise from emptiness. Therefore, that means every thought should be arise from emptiness. There are nothing there which is thoughts not arise from emptiness.
Say the last sentence again, please.
There are nothing thought, any thought there which is not arise from emptiness. Arise from emptiness is talking about its nature, right? So thought's nature is lack of independent existence, right? So any thought, their nature is not the independent. So therefore, it should be arise from emptiness.
The converse of that is that any other thought would be conceptualized thought, yes?
Or you mean talking about the mind which is not realized emptiness, beside that every other thoughts are, that's what you're talking? Oh. Okay. So let's say conceptual thought is which is not the direct perceiver, not the direct perceiver are the conceptual thought, right? So uh, let's say our mental consciousness, our conceptual thought. What is different between direct perceiving and conceptually thinking? What is different between that?
You get the object as it is, like
Yeah.
direct perception is literally.
Literally there, yeah.
Whatever, so
Uh-huh.
the smell consciousness gets just the smell.
Yes.
Attach a label, say, good smell, bad smell, we say, this is the
Mhm.
smell of this, or
Yeah.
this is a smell in general.
Yes.
You know, even the word smell is.
Yes. Yes. And then next day, you might be remember the same smell, right?
Sure. but
That
it's
is
not- but it's
conceptual
not
thought.
actually-
No, that is conceptual thought,
Yeah,
which is remember that it's not directly connected with the smell, whatever smell, right? The incense or whatever. So you see, oh yeah, beautiful incense, the smell. Then next day, you might be remember again that smell. So at that time, object is not there, right? It's gone. But what is there is image. So everything, our thought associating with the image, that you can take as conceptual thought, which is opposite of direct perceiver. Direct perceiver.
Thought comes in unbidden where it's not attached to anything, we don't, you know.
Can you repeat what he's saying? It's hard to hear him.
If we let,
I'm trying to type
you want me to, But
Oh, yeah, we can repeat it. We can repeat it.
when thought comes in, if you then kind of take a hold of it, cling to it, and then concoct some kind of story around the thought. Is this conceptual thought where we start to take a pure thought that we can just let go and it's gone? We hold on to it, so it's around tomorrow, like the smell is an image of thought, you know, whatever, it's a memory.
Yeah,
And we start to build a story around that thought. Is that conceptual thought? We kind of.
it is conceptual thoughts. And then Eric give earlier example, the idea, which is thinking idea, and those things are, it's as I say, it's example, but those are also conceptual thoughts, and because it's just imaginations, the right ideas are just imaginations. It's just not you sees directly. You cannot touch that yet. The idea is there, right? Same as like we see here, and tomorrow you might be remember what happening in this class, who were there, and how we talk, and my action too much moving my hand. So they all you might remember, right? So those are just image. It's just movie in your mind, right? So you just associating with the image. And that image actually comes through by one of the five sense consciousness, which is direct perceiver. You see it directly, that turn into the image, and tomorrow you will remember. But that thought is not the eye consciousness because you not see it directly. Eye consciousness means should be see directly every object, right? But tomorrow, what you remember, or you're thinking same image, that room and those decoration and everything, those are the image, and which is mind thinking that image is the thought. That thought is conceptual. It's like just thinking image. It's name, right? It's not real perceiving it. This is a conceptual thought, right?
Geshe-la?
Uh-huh.
Sorry. I had read somewhere that any thought which is made by an unrealized being is conceptual thought.
Unrealized, for
Being.
example.
Anyone who is is not an Arya.
Or who has not realized the emptiness?
Yes, I guess, yes.
Yeah, but still, they do have a conceptual thought. Who, in regarding Buddhism, who is the actual free from conceptual thought is only Buddha. Only Buddha is freed from conceptual thought. Buddha do not have to think any idea, not preferring for idea and any conceptual, or like I say, how I can talk. I talk to whom? You don't have to prepare that. Everything comes simultaneously. And then, finally it comes to the pronunciation. It takes a long time to miss that pronunciation simultaneously, right? So then it's all this directly perceiving, even mental. The Buddha is the only which is free from conceptual thought, none of others.
Non-duality, that's like that.
Non-dualities, yeah, non-dualities.
So
Even the who sees emptiness directly, at that moment, the object is emptiness, and then that time they sees emptiness directly, without any image, without any idea, right? So just seeing directly. At that moment is that thought is not the conceptual thought, right? But when they wake up from that meditations, which can see emptiness directly, at that time, then conceptual thought comes back. So therefore, only the Buddha is who is free from conceptual thought. Yeah, regarding.
But someone who is on the seeing path also would meet that definition, wouldn't it? I mean, on the seeing path, you have understood, you have direct perception.
He's saying you can have direct perception during a state of meditation, but not.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a person who is on the seeing path has direct perception.
Seeing back again, yeah, they will see back again. But while you are, they are like wake up from meditation, right? Which is like we say after ecophos. Wake up, get up from meditations.
Seeing path, not seeing back, like waking up.
Path of seeing.
Yeah.
Path of seeing. Uh-huh.
Yeah, the third stage.
Yeah, I'm saying that. Yeah, seeing path has like a ecopause and after ecopause meditation, right? While they're meditating ecoposely, that time see directly emptiness through by mental consciousness. When they get up from that ecopause meditation, then they do not see emptiness directly. It's again turned into the conceptual thought. This is the difference. It goes up to the 10th bhumi regarding Buddhism, yeah, until then Buddha.
Is that, it's so, there's something that I'm doing in my meditations where you rest in like awareness of awareness. And like they say, is that still conceptual? If I'm not thinking like I'm aware that I'm aware, I'm literally just sitting in that like cognizance, you know, like. They say,
Yeah, it is still
that's
conceptual.
it is
It's still conceptual.
conceptual.
Yeah, it is conceptual, yeah. So, because idea, you can take example as like if we're thinking idea, if it is conceptual, then awareness of awareness should be the conceptual. What is different there? Right? With the term is awareness, but actually the meaning is that still your yeah, it's just not real object there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
So Geshe-la, it brings up the question, that means as a human, I cannot see any kind of situation where we can not have conceptual thought. I mean, we still have to function in the world, so
Yeah.
then it becomes it's difficult to see this. How someone, if you're by the definition you described, it is practically impossible not to have conceptual thought. So, I mean, for example, this interaction or any kind
You
of
mean
interaction
any
is going to
thought
have
should be
some level of
conceptual thought that
conceptual
you're
thought.
saying it, right? Human being. Any thought should be the conceptual thought?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if
It's
so,
kind
if
of like
some
a yes.
so even let's assume that there is a Buddha is walking amongst us. If he even says to a person, "Bring me a glass of water," that is still a conceptual thought, even if he's a Buddha.
Yes, yes. All even is Buddha? No,
Yes.
no.
So when the Buddha was after his enlightenment and he asked his disciple, "Can you any menial task that you and I would or anyone in this room would do?" That is still a conceptual thought.
Wow, how?
Because there is a concept of asking for water and taking the water. There is a concept here.
He's not perceiving it conceptually.
See here, I can give you example, right? When we see our eye consciousness, just forget about what happening next, right? So when our eye consciousness sees something in front of you, any object, you're just seeing it. Is there any eye consciousness described? Is iPad, it's pen, it's book? We saying this is not the eye consciousness describing it. After eye consciousness, it gives information to brain that thought describing it is iPad and so on and so on. The eye consciousness just perceived it directly. That's it. So same way, any single of the mind of Buddha, seeing as a eye consciousness, everything is directly. So therefore, no need to describe water term. It's not really depend on water term and so on and so on. Just how our eye consciousness see things, same Buddha mind sees everything. So maybe you can take a little bit example that.
Like if the Buddha is speaking about it, then he has to communicate in a way where like the other people will be able to understand. So even if he's like perceiving it with understanding direct realization of emptiness, in order for the other people to understand, what he's telling them, he has to use like a conventional kind of a term in order to.
You have to use, yeah, based on because he's dealing with the conceptual thought. It's not his own. Therefore, he have to use conceptual, but it's his mind, the Buddha's mind, or he or she, right? Buddha's mind, it's we can take example exactly our eye consciousness, how to perceive object, right? So I don't know, may you might be distinguished or not. So after we see, then we see, okay, iPad is here. That who is really describing iPad is here? Is eye consciousness describing or something else?
Can't be the eye consciousness, it doesn't describe anything. It just perceives.
Right, it's like.
Yeah, just perceives like a mirror, right? Just
Yeah.
perceive is there and then grabbed it, right? We just perceived and grabbed it. So sometimes the mind not describe, we looking something and then we see it's grabbed it, right? It's not really have to be described. What is this? So this is we can take example will help us to understand. Even Buddha used the concept, any terms, but his mind, how it's perceived, everything is not just emptiness, everything as it directly sees, right? So therefore, is there any different watch, look, sees? Sorry.
Yes.
Watching is active,
Uh-huh.
so you watch on purpose,
Look
but to see, you see everything.
naturally there, right?
And
Without
look-
any intentions.
And look is very specific, so
Yeah.
that's when you're focused on something before you even look.
Yes, yeah,
Want to
yeah.
find something.
So therefore, looks like a look and watch need some kind of intention or observations.
Correct.
See is not necessary. You can take it as see. Buddha sees those things, yeah.
Just
So Geshe, question.
doesn't actually need a conceptual thought to say like, I'm gonna manifest something, this manifestation that asks for the glass of water. He's not thinking, I'm going to do this. It's
Yeah.
just done.
Just done, yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
whatever.
this is
whatever's
how
needed
happening.
is done because of, and he doesn't have to think about it in any way. It's just so whatever, if he's trying to ask a person to give a glass of water, there's no thought going in his head, I'm going to make a manifestation that asks for this, but it's just done.
Yeah.
There's a manifestation there asking for a glass of water.
So
Or-
I'm not so sure about that, because to ask for a glass of water, you have to have thirst. Thirst is a concept, and then you ask for the glass of water.
But you can
So
just-
even if you're a Buddha, there has to be at some level, you have to feel
Naisha.
that there is thirst, and therefore I have to ask for water. So there itself
Naisha.
you have a concept.
Naisha. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So let's take an example. Once you talk to baby, like a 1-year-old, so how you act? You are exactly acting how you talk to like another adult person? Or you
No.
use different terms, different language, different attitude, right?
Yes.
That's the things with the Buddha talking to baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
But hmm.
Based on
I
we
find
all
it very
talk to baby based on baby's thought and based on baby's capacity, right? Not that we are baby.
So I'm not debating the fact that everything the Buddha perceives is direct emptiness. What I'm not understanding is that at some level he also has to behave conventionally after he achieved enlightenment.
Definitely, I accept that. Buddha
that-
use lot of term. Buddha says sometimes I am the best. Buddha says sometimes it's mine, right? And Buddha says this is my student and my disciple. This is my teaching. He says there's a lot of use the different concept. But I give you example. While he using concept, his mind exactly thinking as like a we are thinking or different. Then I said different because take example how our eye consciousness perceive the object. Same way the Buddha mind perceived it, everything what he used the terms. He's not, and you do not have any image, right? He don't have an image of water. He don't have an image of thirsty. He don't have an image of like a glass. He sees everything is directly.
So then the question arises, why did he ask for the glass of water?
Yeah, he doesn't have to be thirsty. Like,
Because he was thirsty.
I'm not thirsty
Okay.
now, I can still say, now Shad, bring me a glass of water. That doesn't mean that I'm thirsty. Like for this, if the Buddha is asking, bring me a glass of water, this could be so that that disciple can generate merit or something like this. It doesn't have to be because, oh, I'm thirsty. He can just say it, please do whatever it might be.
And other than things, say Buddha necessity to say glass of water. Buddha can be say chew, right?
The Tibetan word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buddha necessary to say glass of water.
What do you mean? Meaning?
No, he necessary to use that term like same language, like a glass of water instead of glass of water. Buddha can be say chu porba. The same meaning.
This is like a linguistic concept, right?
Yeah, Buddha can use porba chu or chu porba instead of glass of water.
Well, I guess the Pali term he would have used at that time.
No, can like
Not Tibetan.
just example. Buddha can use that as you human can use that, right?
Okay.
Because in English said glass of water, in Tibetan said chu porba,
Okay.
right? So both are functionate. And why Buddha necessity to say glass of water? What I said, it's not stuck with the one term and one concept. And then also it's saying the using concept is not necessary that Buddha has to be imagined that, because can be many different term in one of the just glass of water has 10 different terms, right? Same meaning. He can use all of this.
Now, Shad, how could the Buddha communicate with us, or with his disciples, rather, without using like any language at all? How would that have any benefit for anybody?
That's correct. So, but that's exactly
That's
what I'm
correct.
trying to say. So he cannot communicate. So that communication does require a certain thought process.
Geshe, didn't
Uh-huh.
the Buddha in the Heart Sutra without words have Shariputra inquire Avalokiteshvara about
It is, but it is not help to answer for
Yeah.
Ganesha's question.
Yeah.
okay.
That
I have another question after you're finished with
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's not the Buddha's own word. That's true. And then so other things. When Buddha answer, sometimes he silence his answer, right? So silence could be answer. Therefore, not necessary the answer. Everything comes from word.
So Geshe, are you saying that we can and should aspire to non-conceptual thought, train ourselves, practice in that way, even though we're not capable of having non-conceptual thought now?
The first thing is I don't know we are non-capable. And second things, if Buddha can do that, why we cannot do that? How become a Buddha? Buddha was same as like us, right?
That's my-
Uh-huh.
Can we simply, from where we are right now,
Uh-huh.
aspire to
Uh-huh.
non-conceptual thought,
Uh-huh.
even though we can't achieve that right now?
Of course.
That's what meditating on emptiness is about, to get to that point, right?
Yeah. Of course. It is. Yeah.
Geshe.
Kind of separating conceptual thought in terms of labeling something versus associating it with pain or pleasure.
Uh-huh.
I think that's something where maybe we can improve, because we don't want to conceptualize to the extent that we associate. If it's a smell,
Uh-huh.
you can put a label on it, you can say that's incense or whatever. But when you start to say that smells good to me, you may have a tendency to want more of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that would then create suffering. So, labeling is something that allows us to exist in society with other people. But I think where we get ourselves in trouble is the labeling and then associating it with something that's either creates you to want more of it or to push it away.
Elaborations.
Yeah, yeah. This is the language and everything is more like a yeah, and I can say usually we're saying without any label or terms, we were not identified anything. When we identified, there are no fundamental. So this is the how we need to put together, When we identified, there are no foundations or no fundamental there. But without concept, we cannot identify it. This is the the cause. The For us, when we use language and some image comes in the same time in our mind, again, I still answer for Naisha. So when we use language, right, in our thought, in like our who are like ordinary beings, it's like some kind of image comes in our thought. Let's say cup of tea. So then cup of tea comes in our image. Buddha do not have that image when he say cup of tea. This is the difference between Buddha and us.
Sorry, can I just follow up on?
Yeah, sure, definitely, yeah.
So, can we practice then, being okay with labeling, but then stopping there and practice staying neutral to whatever it is that we label, not associating it with something pleasurable or, having aversion to something. Is that something that we can practice that would help in our evolution?
We should, yeah. We should practice with those concepts. We should practice with all these things. One things usually I said, giving example that in the milk, we don't know which part of butter, which part of yogurt. When it's shaked it, right? And it comes separately, right? So same way, we use the concept, all these things we have to use and meditate, and then once we realize, then it's kind of appealed. It's like separating from like a what is has to be gone and what has to be remain. All this separating while we do continuous practice. So definitely, without concept and language, we cannot do any practice. So now here talking about conceptual thought, that conceptual thought, we have a numerous conceptual thought. Some are positive, some are negative, some are right, some are wrong, some are just fiction, some are fact, right? So there are numerous conceptual thoughts. And then even 5 minutes while we do meditating, like a almost 100 conceptual thought with different 100 conceptual thought we could be the arises. All this conceptual thought is maybe most of them is it's just idea or fiction. It's not real, right? So that kind of how our mind is too much jumping here in between here and there, right? So and so this we call distraction, and then even the conceptual thought, sometimes we are thinking meaning without use any term, but some kind of image, right? Some kind of image. So you are now growing, then you are under the tree. Even you do not say tree, you see as tree in your image, right? And then you are under the meditating on tree and so on and so on. Not really saying tree, not really saying person, not really saying meditating, but without using tree, person, meditating, but still you can imagine it. The person goes there and meditating, and you can imagine those, right? That could be also conceptual thought. Conceptual thought is not necessarily always use some kind of terms and concept, right? So it's more imaginations, or which mind always perceiving object through by image. That are the conceptual thought. It could be the right toward conceptual thought, wrong toward conceptual thought. And our self-ego and self-grasping are conceptual thought, but it's a wrong view that we labeling on it, right? The wrong view means the wrong conceptual thought. So that both wrong conceptual thought and general conception thought, both are associating here to which need to be eliminated or subdued. For example, saying here, what are the enemies? Then it's a conceptualizations, right? That's just the meaning here, that conceptualizations, both general distraction, a lot of thought, or wrong view. Both are here, refers.
When you were saying that about, letting it, I'm doing a shamatha practice for, Kamabhati, if it's to develop concentration, and, the instructions are, it comes from one of the sutras, like, the seen, let there be just the seen, and the felt, let there just be the felt, so like, it's about like, so when you're talking about that, it's kind of like developing a state of, the relaxation, kind of like, and you can do it even with your eyes open, because that's actually a part of the practice. So you are picking up this stuff, but you're like, obviously there must be some conceptualization, but there's not a gross level of conceptualization. Your mind's not automatically going and thinking of the label, and so you're kind of just like, I don't know, I guess that's part of why you try to develop calm abiding, so that you don't always go out and have to follow it with a thought when you see something, think that's this and all that, like, so that is like something that's like taught and that people do, like, to try to like help them to get to an emptiness realization.
Yeah, that's happening. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Janet has a question.
Okay.
Janet, go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Chappelle. So it seems like as humans, we're pervasively engaged in conceptual thought, like when we're dreaming even, but or also can, like through mind training, wouldn't that be the way that we learn to use our conceptual thought for things like meditating on impermanence and dependent arising, preciousness, all the things that we meditate on. So wouldn't it be that in essence, we can only achieve enlightenment and dependence upon conceptual thought?
Yes. Yes, it is.
So it's not a bad thing across the board then to have conceptual thought. It can be used in a good way.
Yeah, answer for that, and also follow up the Georgians and thoughts. So see, emptiness as an object, and then it will take a time to see emptiness directly. Before that, we must have an emptiness, image of emptiness perfectly. That is counted that you realize emptiness when you see image of emptiness perfectly. But still we not see directly. Then continuous meditating on again and again and again and again. Then it's turned into the see directly. This is sees directly. Yeah, I don't know, we can imagine that part or not, because everything we imagine based on our experience, right? So that kind of experience, we do not have it. So therefore, I don't know, we can imagine that or not, but this is how the process to get to the emptiness, see emptiness directly. We go through by the image. So the how get image, then many reasoning, many explanations, and then again is puzzle, right? Then give you many, and then you're putting together one by one, one by one, one by ones, and you get a kind of solid image of the emptiness. That means now you understand emptiness, or not just understand, you realize emptiness. If you complete image of emptiness, you understand the complete image of understand, that means you realize emptiness. Until then, you do not realize emptiness. You get some idea of emptiness, or you have some information of emptiness, right? So then we need to be more. So all this word and teaching and reasoning are giving us, then we have to think, don't put together all these things, and then get some idea, complete idea of emptiness. Still is image. not realized directly. It's not none of our five sense consciousness is that idea of image will be perceived by, cognized by our conceptual thought. It's mental consciousness, which is conceptual thought. And then once we get that image, then we have to meditate continuous on it, that image, again and again, again and again, again. So that image means not just simply image, understanding, idea, right? That idea and understanding clear, that's once we get that, then we have to meditate many times. Then it comes up to see directly. Then we say, okay, you are moving to next path, to the seeing path, when you see directly. So this is the how God, this is give us hope. It's possible. Yes, definitely possible. Yeah.
So we're trying to see self-realization, is that what we're trying to see in the aggregate?
Regarding emptiness, that's yes. We learn first, right? The study, we learn first. Then how much you learn, that much you reflect it. The second wisdom we need to get. That reflected. That reflections will be not comes clear, then you have to go back more, get more information or more study. And then how much you have more study or having more reason, that much your reflection will be better. And then understanding through by the reflection, that wisdom will be more clear. Once you have that wisdom, then it's the complete understanding of emptiness or complete idea of emptiness that you have it. So then we have to meditate further, get like an experience, right? So then we have to meditate. Continuous meditating will brings you that even the mental consciousness see directly, not just idea of image. It's just sees directly. That's kind of things, yeah. It's just like we're wearing glass with a dark color. This is, but still we see there, but not completely sees. This is the image of idea, image of emptiness, right? That's you can take. And then continuous meditating, and then you take off the glass and see actual exactly what it is. So there are no dark, even the shape and everything's there, there are no dark. Now sees what is it is. That's the how we see emptiness directly in the future. Yeah. Okay. So our half classes goes more philosophy and Buddhist. Okay. Yeah. Okay, then any other question? Yes. Okay.
Easier.
Okay.
Maybe misunderstanding the definition of pride as it applies to this text.
Uh-huh.
But isn't there such a thing as a harmless pride without superiority?
Harmless.
Like, for instance, I have a garden in my backyard, let's say.
Okay.
And I make it beautiful.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not going to compare it to anybody else. I'm the only one that sees
Okay.
it. You have to take pride in that accomplishment.
It's up to you. No, you not just say, can I take or not, right? This is 100%, we are independent to do that. I can take everything what I wanted, right? So, no, this wrong, text say wrong. Now you should say wrong, not text wrong. But text help you to how it's wrong, then you have to think. You know, you just have a pride on it. That's okay, right? The first moment. And then sees what experience comes after I have pride. Then what text says, oh, then it will be make sense to you, or it will be not make sense to you after you're examining. This is how we need to go, right? Everything text talk, we begin to engage it. Examining comes always in the middle.
But to me, this text is very black and white, and it's saying it's wrong.
I'm saying it is wrong, yes. I follow it. I'm saying black and white, it's wrong. But you cannot say it's wrong. Therefore, what you can say when you're examining more.
But
be careful, is it, we've talked about this in this class before, like a similar thing has come up, like, are you sure it's pride and the way they mean it, or is it
That's what I'm
happiness?
saying, am I
Is it happiness?
misunderstanding?
Maybe you're happy about like, doing it and it's making you feel happy, but not pride, like pride, what they're talking about here is a very specific thing.
Okay, first things, yeah, that is very true. Laura, first things you have to describe what is pride. You have to describe, not definition, okay, not only definition, that definition which is suit for your experience, then you have to feel it. Oh, okay, this is pride now. You should say that. Then you can say have or not, then it's clear. Otherwise, you might have some kind of rejoicement, right? So that is not pride. Or satisfaction, you can have a satisfaction, that's not pride.
That's what we said last time.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying, I don't know if I'm misunderstanding my definition of pride and what's in the text.
Well,
Okay,
pride is when it almost borders on arrogance, is when
Okay,
it
got it.
starts to.
Yeah.
thank you.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So we always should know what it is exactly. Then we can say, can I have those or not? If we do not know that, can be misunderstood with the other thoughts, right? Other many different things there. Okay. You have 100% to have an attachment. There's no problem. The text says no attachment, but you can have 100% attachment. But you should see there's comes conclusion what, right? So if conclusions more goes with the suffering, then you should follow text. If conclusion goes no suffering, then you should follow your own idea. This is how we need to go. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh yeah. You have something to ask? Okay.
I've been, keeping an eye on this Buddhist stuff for about 10 years, and this summer I had major knee replacement, again on this one. So I was home for 2 months.
Wonderful.
It's hard to be in one spot for 2 months and not be like, are you kidding me, in the middle of summer? But I took all of what I know and I applied it, and I'm like, I want to be happy no matter what. And I you have to remind yourself, you're not raised this way.
Uh-huh.
Like to just
Understand.
Like, incorporate Dharma into your life. Because I'm much happier when I go through life feeling like everyone's my brother and sister, and I smile at people. And I compliment people, I'm not as negative. But I just want to say that because of Buddhism, I was able, not perfectly, to be better with my surgery.
Wonderful.
I
Yeah.
wasn't a jerk all the time.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you guys a lot.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I'm not taking no questions. Well,